Thanks for joining us on this momentous election eve. The final sprint has just ended, and the stakes could not be higher. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump barnstorming across key swing states.
Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win.
You show up and you're going to have the biggest victory. You know what this will be? The single greatest victory, politically speaking, in the history of our country.
Here in the crucial state of Michigan, historic levels of early voting. And I'm joined by my co-anchor Byron Pitts in North Carolina. Byron, so much at stake.
Juju, here in Asheville, where the race is also incredibly close, you can still see the effects of Hurricane Helene. Election officials have been scrambling to make sure residents here have a place to vote. Another big issue in the election, the gender gap, is on full display in this state.
In western North Carolina, voter reach out hits different this year. It had to.
Our main focus today is checking in on the community and information dispersal surrounding FEMA and voting rights.
That's one of the biggest needs that a lot of people have is cleaning supplies that have bleach in it so that they can kill the mold spores before they rebuild their stuff.
No scripts, no slogans, rather neighbor helping neighbor. Campaign hubris replaced by simple down-home decency.
The community has just showed up for each other, ultimately. Very Appalachian energy to help your neighbor.
Up in the mountains of Watauga County, Mariah Cox and her team of outreach workers, the Highland Collective, check on a mobile home community. Some residents here experience intense flooding and home damage.
And then I heard a boat coming by, and I was hanging on that tree.
Still, they feel this election is too important to sit out.
Your poor people in your middle class are struggling. Our country's in a mess, and we need a good leader.
Despite initial concerns, the percentage of those voting early in the 25 hard-hit counties of western North Carolina was actually higher than the statewide average.
We were able to open all of our early voting sites that we had intended to open, which was 6 for our county. We're a purple county and a purple state, so both sides are very motivated.
We was cut off for a long time.
60 miles away in solid red Yancey County, bridges down and roads closed tested early voters.
How far out of your way did you have to go to vote?
Either we had to drive through the river or go all the way back into Tennessee and back around, which is an hour and 45 minutes.
So let me hear this straight. So people, in order to vote early vote, some of them folks had to drive into Tennessee, come back around an hour and a half to vote.
Yeah.
Now the church parking lot has become a temporary relief site, and tomorrow residents will vote in this tent. It's not just Helene bringing national attention to the Tar Heel state, a key in the road to the White House. It's the only battleground where Trump won in 2020, but the Democrats think they have a definite shot this year. Both candidates hitting the state hard and honing in on women, historically the largest voting bloc in the country.
I want to protect the women of our country, they said. They said, sir, I just think it's inappropriate for you to say, pay these guys a lot of money. Can you believe it? I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not.
He simply does not respect the freedom of women or the intelligence of women.
Our latest ABC News Ipsos poll showing a clear divide between male and female voters. Trump up 5 points with male voters, Harris up by 11 with women. Women have the numbers in North Carolina and can make all the difference if they turn out for a certain candidate. One key target, the suburbs.
Okay, we're in Apex, North Carolina. This is a Republican neighborhood in the middle of a blue sea.
Outside Raleigh, Cindy Joyner, armed with star-spangled shoes, sets out to canvass with Republican women vying for state and local seats.
We have knocked around 12,000 doors in our area.
Raleigh has been reliably blue since the 2008 presidential election of Barack Obama.
Dear Heavenly Father, we ask you, God, to continue to be a hedge of protection around President Trump.
From door knocking to sweet tea with a heaping helping of politics, Republican women here are hoping their enthusiasm translates to votes.
I am a supporter of Trump. Some people think Trump is like a bully. He bullies the bully. He fights the bully for my values.
I have a son in college, and groceries for him at college are more expensive. You know, the tuition is more expensive.
Not only is the economy worse, but they're taking that money and they're spending it on programs and things that are not helpful to the average American, and we're all suffering for it.
I'm active in the Republican Party because I feel like, especially for blacks, the Democrat Party, we voted 95% one way, and that just isn't going to change the things in your life. I think he's doing a good job, and the women will come.
Across the state in a suburb of Charlotte,
we call this canvassing from your couch.
the women of a group dubbed Red, Wine, and Blue are training others how to talk politics with their friends and family.
People will listen to the people that they know and that they trust.
Janice Robinson leads the group's North Carolina chapter. The issues that matter to them different from their Republican counterparts.
Reproductive rights, the abortion issue, it is a huge issue. I know a lot of the pundits want to say, oh, it's not that big of an issue. They're wrong. It's an issue for all women.
But these women, Democrats as well as independents, say that decision is pretty clear-cut.
I'm voting for Kamala Harris. I think she just loves our country and our populace, regardless of who we are.
This election is very important to me because there are groundbreaking things that are going to happen if I don't vote.
Roe and the ensuing really dangerous limitations that have been placed on women's choices in many states is going to spur women to vote.
That sense of importance is something that both candidates have touted since the beginning of their campaigns.